Last night was Halloween, but even more scary, today is the day after Halloween. People waking up with the cruel reality that Halloween fell on a weekday, a work day, a school day. Sleepy, grumpy children who stayed up late, eating candy, and parents tired from walking their children around the neighborhood last night and also eating candy. You know you did. Sure, Halloween is fun, but today will seem like the longest day of the year. This message brought to you by people who believe trick-or-treating should always be the Saturday prior to Halloween unless it falls on a weekend.
I would like to represent the
Ohio State University.
It's the Morning Blitz with Kelly, Thick, and Lewis.
The Morning Blitz.
Jim Harbaugh drinks milk with steak. Never trust a guy who drinks a milk with a steak.
FACK facts.
So Hal versus the world right here now. Us against everybody.
It's Kelly, Thick, and Lewis. Your Morning Blitz begins now.
Get that chance. Go play for a national championship. We're going to swing as hard as we possibly can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
On the Blitz.
All right. Friday is upon us. Did you survive the Halloween extravaganza?
Yeah, I survived.
Set up the lab. Kelly and I were waiting for pictures, and we saw none.
Oh, Kelly got a picture.
Oh. Well, the group text.
Oh, you know what it was is my wife took the pictures, sent it to Kelly on her phone. She wasn't in on the group text. I saw Kelly's text, and I said to my wife, Heather, I said, Kelly wants a picture. She said, we better see a picture of the mad scientist here quick. And so Heather took a picture and sent it to Kelly. I never mentioned that it was part of a group text. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Kelly's back on Monday.
Oops.
Did you get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
We ran out of candy.
Wow.
I mean, that's the most we've ever had.
Wow.
One, it was warm.
Yeah.
And the rain held off.
Yeah.
At least in our neighborhood until it didn't. But I also think there's more kids in our neighborhood now than there has been in the past, which happens.
Sure.
But yeah, man, we had a lot of kids. We ran out of candy just after 8 o'clock. Or I mean, just after 7 o'clock.
Wow.
Sorry. And our neighbor she was all set to loan us some. And then all of a sudden it started pouring down rain. And they just kind of vanished. So we kind of got lucky. There were a handful of kids. I had to say, I'm so sorry we ran out. It never has happened.
Wow.
But I guess if the weather's going to be warm next year, I will definitely have more than...
Sounds like a lack of preparation on your part.
It was. Because it was going to rain. I mean, we didn't know how much, but it was going to rain, which it did. It just... that first hour was awesome. It was so nice out, I even got the zombie up. It withstood the wind.
It was pretty windy yesterday.
Yeah, even had the zombie up in the yard.
And it looked like it was going to storm, for 6 hours straight. It looked like
at
it
any
was
moment.
And it never did.
No. Yeah, the first hour of Trick or Treat, the weather was just perfect. I mean, because it was that dark. It was dark and gloomy, but it's Halloween, so it's okay.
Right.
But it was warm.
Right.
And the wind wasn't as bad as it was going to be.
No. It was, turned out to be at least warm. I thought it was going to be colder this morning than what it was.
I thought you were going to stop over.
I'll be honest. I was in I'll be completely honest. I was in a pissed off mood.
You?
And I did not want to. I did. And I did. I literally sat yesterday by myself just because I didn't want to ruin anybody else's day.
Were you in the shower while you were sitting?
No, the crying game was not playing in the background either. No, I was irritated and angry, and I didn't feel that it was right to spread that to anybody else on Halloween, so I stayed in isolation yesterday.
All right.
Because I was what I thought was considerate to others.
I understand that.
So that's it. Yeah, so that's what I did. Watched the final episode of Agatha All Along that I had been putting off for a while. Watched the football game last night.
Yeah, that was another thing. Got done with Trick or Treat, got everything taken down. Man, I'm telling you what, I really set that up, and it takes time. But So, I'm wide awake at that point. Might as well watch some of the game. Well, that first quarter and a half, as it was
Awful.
0-0 nonstop, made it real easy to go to sleep.
Awful.
But you mentioned shows. Mm-hmm. Have you watched any of the new Daryl Dixon yet?
I was going to start that last night, and then I started watching the football game because I didn't want to stay up super late. And I'm like, man, if I start watching this, I know there's like 3 or 4 episodes. I'd be up all night.
Dude, it is so good.
I'm sure it is.
And I mean, I don't know if any of you guys out there are watching the new Daryl Dixon, but
I liked the first season.
Outstanding. This blows the first season away. It's that good.
Yeah, I'll have to get in.
I'll have to jump in. I was trying to hold back a yawn.
I don't know why. It just came out of nowhere. I'll have to jump in and see it because I like the first season a lot. I know the second season premiered, but yeah, I did not get
it. Yeah, and this Sunday's season finale.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, good. We'll binge watch that bad boy.
Yeah, you won't have to wait.
Not much at all.
It's so good.
All right. Well, we've got stuff to do today, including give you a shot to win In This Moment tickets, as well as tickets to see Ghost in Cleveland. Jeff Logan in a little later to talk Buckeye football, but right now, a little Morning Blitz trivia.
All right. In this moment, just after 7, Ghost just after 8, Logan's at 7:35. Talking Buckeyes. Our Morning Blitz trivia question. Over 20% of the states in the country, the schools are banning this because kids keep tripping over them. Schools are banning this in over 20% of the states.
Shoes, finally.
What is it they're banning? First one to text in the correct answer at 99700. You are going to get $25 to Water Beds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstore.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
6:23 on the Morning Blitz. It's Thick Rick, Lewis. Kelly Quinn will be back on Monday. It is a Friday. I did see the Mad Scientist Lab. Looked good.
Yeah.
Looked good.
I got some good scares last night, man. I got some jumps.
Yeah. You look like you were into it.
It's fun. It is. I back off and take off the mask. It's a real little one coming up, though.
All that black made me think of what a great OnlyFans shoot I could do with just the black and the lab coat.
Oh, man.
I mean, I probably wouldn't play on Halloween, but,
Right. I would hope not.
Looking for ways.
Jeez.
Your Morning Blitz trivia.
All right, the question was, what is being banned in schools all across the country because kids keep tripping over them? And it's funny, Lewis, because you jokingly said, oh, they're shoes, right?
Right.
It's actually Crocs.
So they trip over the shoes with no strings.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
But not the shoes with strings.
The ones they never tie?
Yeah.
So teachers have been dealing with this as kids run through the corridors, and it's become a hallway hazard. They are tripping and tumbling constantly. So far, we're over a dozen states, tons of schools in over a dozen states, and that number keeps going up. That's like, I don't get it. I don't wear them, so I don't know. Everybody says how comfortable they are, but why are they tripping?
I could not bring myself. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends love Crocs. I cannot bring myself to buy a pair or put a pair on. They look like such... they look like the shoes my grandmother would have got me at the dollar store in the summertime. Oh, you don't need sandals. We'll give you these instead. They'll protect your toes.
Well, I mean, it was, it's been a while since I saw Idiocracy, but it was meant to be a joke, right? I mean, they weren't wearing them to start a trend. It was meant to be a joke in the movie, right?
I don't know. But I just know that, again, I'm not a total slave to fashion, but the kid in the house, both kids.
Yeah, I know. I get it. And, whenever we bring it up, we always get a lot of texts. There are people out there who absolutely love them and talk about how comfortable they are. And I know guys who, bass fishermen, when it's raining, that is their choice of footwear. So their shoes aren't getting all wet. They just put on the Crocs and no big deal.
Special shoes. Yeah, I can't do it. I just can't.
Yeah, so these schools are going to, rule is safe footwear shall be worn at all times, no open-toe shoes, bedroom slippers. That's funny, they have to specify bedroom slippers or shower shoes. All shoes must have a strap or back at the heel. And several of the schools specifically, in all caps, no Crocs allowed. That's funny.
Interesting.
George is one of them. Here's a mom who's not happy about it.
There is a condition in regards to like sandals and shoes with open backs. Crocs are somewhere in the middle. I guess it's up to interpretation. To say that it's a safety issue is kind of where he's saying that does not make sense. Nurses wear them. People in food service wear them.
She's got a point. I don't know. Maybe the kids can't handle them.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of kids trip over their shoelaces. Which brings me up to another thing. When I taught I did the bunny ears when I learned how to tie my shoes. The kids, we do this thing called crisscross applesauce. What the hell is that? What does applesauce have to do with your shoes?
It's just a thing.
I don't get it. The bunny ears, okay, because it looks like bunny ears. Crisscross applesauce and shoestrings have no correlation. Couldn't find anything better to rhyme with it?
All right, congratulations to Stephen Wells of Columbus. He knew the answer first, and he's got $25 to Waterbeds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstores.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
6:40. We will see a little sun, some clouds. Definitely cooler today. Only a high of right around 60, so that's a change from the last couple of days.
Yeah, a little cooler. It's going to get better.
It's not bad, though.
Did you see that picture of that house Mike Funk texted in?
Yeah, it was massive.
A mansion, and it was decked out for trick-or-treat last night. He said it was a rich neighborhood. He said they were all trick-or-treating in golf carts.
Jeez. Because, walking, that would take way too much out of you. All right.
Well, if the houses are all that big, man, they're a little bit far apart.
This is true. I got something.
All right.
Guy was advertising $2 COVID vaccines.
Some random dude?
Nope. A man in Pennsylvania claimed to be running a legitimate scientific business near Lewisburg. He was a drug dealer, and a big one. Anthony Bresci made fentanyl and fentanyl variants, is what they're suing him for. He was making pounds and kilograms of fentanyl, the prosecutor said in his opening statement, as the trial started last week. He's 52, is accused of having a business called Shiva and which is a front for the manufacture of illegal drugs. He's charged with conspiracy to manufacture and distribute controlled substances and possession with the intent to do the same thing. He put the fentanyl and its variants in gallon buckets. The two co-defendants are 60 and 1, Domenico Henderson of Elyria, Ohio, and Terry Harris, 51 of Philadelphia, distributed the drugs. They would usually meet him at the King of Prussia area in Henderson, western Pennsylvania, and then return with money. He was taking duffel bags full of money to banks and drew the attention of the FBI. Bank records obtained between 2018 and 2019 said he made cash deposits into Shiva's business checking account of nearly $1.8 million. They also hear that the investigation included a search warrant of Shiva, where they said all kinds of chemicals were found. He said he was making 200 kilograms of carfentanil, worth approximately $3.5 million for a customer. And the affidavit says he began making fentanyl in 2015 at his parents' home and then moved into his business in 2016. And he was doing a lot of it under the guise of making a $2 COVID vaccine. One of the products he claimed was a $2 per dose named Covi Nanovax. He never developed any of his purported projects, including dazzle coating, which is a coating to protect aircraft, drones, rockets, and other vehicles from laser-directed energy weapons. So basically, he started in his garage making chemicals for things like that, and the whole time, under the guise of all this other stuff, had a nice little fentanyl operation going. Isn't that crazy? It's like Breaking Bad.
$2 COVID shot.
Get your $2 COVID shot that we're developing.
Shiva.
Yep. By the way, if you want some fentanyl, we got that too.
Is that SHIVA?
It is.
That was the name of the trophy in the TV show The League. Their fantasy football trophy was the Shiva.
Yep.
Because of Shiva, the hot girl at school.
Yep. Oh, this is Shiva the drug business.
A little different.
So, I mean, I guess, everybody wants to start their own business. I'm not sure this is the right one.
All right, I got something a little lower level criminal than what you were dealing with there. We're what, 4 days? 5 days till the election?
Tuesday.
5 days, right? 4 days. I can't. I'm so tired. All right. Anyway, it's Tuesday. And so the political signs are, people have all these political signs in their yards and stuff. And sometimes they get vandalized. People write stuff on them or they just steal them. And Laura McCaskill in Springfield, Missouri, she had a Harris Wall sign on her lawn and it got stolen. So she went and got another one. And it was also stolen. All right, get a third one. Stolen yet again.
Jeez.
And so she went and got a fourth sign. However, she attached an Apple AirTag to the sign. What are those things, like $15-20?
Roughly.
Yeah. And you would think they're just stealing them and throwing them in some dumpster or something, right?
Yeah.
No. So she tracked the AirTag to a car parked in front of a house in Springfield. And the owner of the car lives with his mom. And so he didn't come out when she went up and knocked on the door. His mom came out and told her that she had tracked her Apple AirTag that was on her political sign to this car. And so the mom opened up the trunk.
Okay, so get a video of this. Get a video of this. This is where they all are.
I'm sorry, this is funny. Why don't you just take them all?
Well,
Take
but
them all.
it's more than that, actually.
No, it's not. It's so stupid. Just go vote.
It's a bigger deal than you're making it out to be. I mean, obviously it's important or you wouldn't have taken your time to take these.
No, I mean, honestly, it's just I saw it on TikTok. I saw a guy that apparently he filled his house up. I was with some buddies. I'm not saying it was right or anything.
So they open the trunk and there's 59 yard signs in the trunk.
Jeez.
And it's not like, I believe what he said about TikTok, because it wasn't just Harris Walls. He had all kinds of different political signs. He wasn't just stealing all of those. So once TikTok strikes again, and Laura, she couldn't believe what she saw when they got there.
I expected to find the AirTag, but not 59 signs. It was kind of like finding a dead body. It was like, oh, are you kidding me?
But yeah, you expect to find your sign, not,
right,
everybody in your neighborhood signs. Wow. So she got her sign back. She filed a police report. All her neighbors, some of them, not all of them, but some of them got their signs back because they were in there as well. And, each sign could result in a year in prison and a $2,500 fine.
No kidding.
So he could, technically, they could throw the book at him and give him 59 years and a fine of $147,500.
For stealing signs.
For stealing stupid political signs.
Apparently TikTok never learned the rule that your grandmother taught you years and years ago, where if it wasn't yours, you don't touch it.
Right. It's just like, because when you first start reading it, it's like, oh, this guy, he's definitely a Republican, hates Harris. No, he had
equal opportunity.
Yeah, I believe him when he said it was some TikTok thing.
That's a mess. That's a mess. Star set on the Morning Blitz, 6:51. It's Thick and Lewis. Kelly back on Monday. Sun and clouds today, 59 for the high, but the weekend, not too bad. 60s, upper 60s on Sunday, and then back into the 70s for the first part of next week. So,
got to give a shout out to Roman.
Yeah,
turning the big 5-0 today.
Wow.
So he and Mary are playing hooky to celebrate his 50th. Don't worry, dude, it's the new 20. 50.
No, it's not, dude. It's 50.
But
trust me, when you get out of bed every morning, your body does the system check to make sure you can stand up. It's okay.
Yeah, I just usually jump right up.
Do you?
Yeah.
Must be the Skechers.
There you go.
Keeping your arches where they need to be.
That and the weed. No. But they call it medicine, so.
Medicinal purposes.
Yeah. So, happy birthday, Roman. Enjoy it, man.
For sure.
All right. A recent study analyzed the lyrics of some of the top Billboard artists of all time, like the most iconic musicians, to find out which artists have the highest lexical diversity in their lyrics. And what they're talking about is the variety of unique words.
Okay.
Number 1 on the list, Black Sabbath.
Really?
Black Sabbath at number 1, Pink Floyd at number 2, Slayer at number 3.
Really?
They have the most diverse vocabulary in music.
Would not have expected that.
I mean, a lot of rock here. Like Bruce Springsteen's on here. Then Tyler, is it Childers or Childers? Childers? Childers. Yeah, he's at 6. But then you get to Megadeth. You got the Eagles, Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix. Those are the top 10.
Wow.
I see Dasha checks in at 13, then Toby Keith. So you do have some more country artists there. That tells me that the pop kids are just writing a bunch of dumb crap, right?
Well, yeah, probably.
The top 5 most positive artists based on lyrics. Number 1, Marvin Gaye. Followed by Cody Johnson, Garth Brooks, Led Zeppelin, and Celine Dion. The most positive lyrics.
Yeah, I always felt really good and uplifting when I heard Let's Get It On. I like the message there.
Very positive.
Very positive.
The 5 most negative artists: Slayer, Iron Maiden, Slipknot, System of a Down, and The Kid Laroi. So metal owning all of this stuff. And it also says that metal is the most intelligent genre because of its lyric diversity, followed by rock and country.
So I can't understand why they would find any kind of negativity and let the bodies hit the floor. That just escapes me.
Well, there is a message there.
I guess there is
a message there, though. So
really, always thought that was a positive, uplifting, feel-good kind of tune. I mean, I suppose it is if you're angry at the world.
Well, I remember when the song came out, and that was after 9/11, and there was this, I remember a video that somebody had made with it of, like, military bombings going on over there in the Middle East, because we were fighting in Iraq and all that.
Right.
And so there was definitely a message in the song. Definitely not I guess it's not positive, but then depending on how you look at it, maybe it was.
So you're trying to tell me a band named Slayer also doesn't have songs filled with positive and uplifting lyrics?
No, they're one of the most negative.
Shocker. Mind blown.
What? You think South of Heaven's not an uplifting, positive song?
I mean, I probably should. I don't know why.
Seasons in the Abyss?
Absolutely.
It
sounds like a nice little vacation getaway.
Raining Blood?
Right. Yeah.
War on Song.
Who can't appreciate the positivity in Raining Blood?
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
Well, a key inflation gauge is showing positive signs, but Americans say they're still paying too much for groceries. The Commerce Department reported yesterday that the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index dropped to 2.1% last month on an annual basis. That's in line with expectations. I don't know what that means, but they're calling it a positive sign.
Will prices ever go down no matter what?
But no, not anymore, because now you got greed involved. They're going to take a profit loss to help other people have more money in their pockets. That's not American. Clocks will go back an hour this Sunday. Daylight saving time ends at 2 a.m. November 3rd and starts again March of next year. This means an extra hour of sleep for the vast majority of the country.
Are you excited about that?
I don't know. I like the lighter. I like it staying lighter longer. I really do.
Later, yeah. Yeah, as opposed to being
6
lighter.
o'clock at pitch black.
Because no matter what, we're coming to work in the dark. No
right.
matter which time zone it is.
It doesn't faze me in the morning, but really messes with me in the evening. I'd much rather have the longer days.
23% of people are excited for the time change this weekend. One of those people is definitely my wife.
Okay.
She wants her hour back.
Well, she's entitled to it. That's what it is. I'm surprised you haven't had people out there protesting. Because they protest everything else.
Well, if they decide to make it a permanent change, whether it's now or in the spring, then you'll have protests.
Probably so. Well, we're not too far away from Thanksgiving. I know we're about to skip right over that and get into the Christmas greed shopping season, but Thanksgiving is coming, and the weekend before Thanksgiving looks like a pretty good movie weekend for people. Wicked is going to come out, which is the beloved Broadway musical, and Gladiator 2, which is getting good early reviews, both eyeing big opening box office totals when they land November 22nd. The Hollywood Reporter says Wicked is tracking for an $85 million opening weekend. That would be one of the biggest openings ever for a musical, and Ridley Scott's sequel to the Oscar-winning 2000 Gladiator is looking for a $65 million opening weekend, although they did kind of, in the trailers, answer one question already. It was long believed that in Gladiator in 2000 that the boy was actually Maximus's son because he had an affair with
Lucius.
Lucius was actually his son because he had an affair with Commodus' sister. But she's in the sequel since she didn't die in the first one, and she does confirm that Maximus was the boy's father.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's already
They spilled that out.
They spilled that in the trailer.
Wonder why?
I don't know.
I saw a trailer, but I didn't catch that.
Yeah, she's like this. There's a trailer that's out that, you know, she tells him who his father was. So Maximus was actually his father.
Wow.
And those are your three things.
I'm trying to think of the ages of his son and Lucius.
About the same age. Well, there was always this uneasiness between the sister, and him through the whole movie. And
yes.
And you never knew why.
Right.
Obviously, they had a thing, and that was the why.
Oh, that was obvious. Yeah. That's like one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
It is good. It is very good. Cedar on the Morning Blitz. It's Thick and Lewis. Kelly Quinn will be back on Monday as we get into a Friday morning with a chance for you to see In This Moment. You want to listen for Green Day, Long View, and then be caller 16 at 800-821-9970. Green Day is what you are listening for. If you want to go see In This Moment.
That'll happen before 8.
Part of our Blitzmas concert series. So you ran out of candy last night.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we were doing, we did cookies and cream Hershey bars, Kit Kats, and Snickers. Usually always get Reese's, but everybody's got Reese's, right? Everybody's always got Reese's. But everybody's always got all the same stuff because there's nothing new. And I ran across this TikTok video, this guy named Premi Sterling, and he wants to know what the hell's going on. Listen to this.
Where are the new candies? Why have I been eating the same candy for 3 decades? Explain to me why I've been trick-or-treating my whole life, and I'm always getting the same candies. Snickers, Twix, Reese's Pieces, Skittles, Starburst. It's the same candies every year since I was born. There's no new candies. Think about what I'm telling you. As long as you've been alive, it's been the same candies. We've gotten new cereals. We've gotten new animals. But we're getting the same candy. And all this stuff is artificially made. So nobody could have artificially made some new stuff. Why we keep getting the same candies? And why is it that for me to get a knockout version of Skittles, I gotta go on Etsy and find some white lady named Elizabeth who making them in the middle of Montana talking about I make knockout Skittles and they're more healthy. Something is not right.
He's not wrong.
No, he's really not.
Premi Sterling. Great rant, man.
But they do, I mean, they have done new candy. I mean,
tell me one.
Kit Kat's constantly making new flavors.
Yeah, I know, but it's still Kit Kat. It's still,
what else can you do?
I don't know. I mean, that might be a valid point as well. They can't come up. They can't come up with new movies.
Okay, look, if those Christmas or assorted candy box sets teach us anything, there are certain things that just because you cover them in chocolate, they still taste like ass.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants the chocolate-covered orange nougat.
Yeah, no. There's some of the. Oh, you're talking about some of those candies.
So I honestly think where it comes to like caramel and peanut, various types of nuts or whatever, chocolate or white chocolate is really practically the only way to go there. Like we have exhausted the options.
I mean, I know what Sour Patch Kids are very popular.
Right. Do you want chocolate covered Sour Patch Kids?
Oh, no.
Right, exactly.
No.
So what else are you going to do?
Okay, I see what you're saying now. You can't just cover anything in chocolate and make a new candy bar.
Right. So, I mean, we're kind of out of...
We could try.
And I think you do get the people that like, okay, they'll bake the chocolate-covered pretzels or whatever on Christmas. You get stuff like that, but that's already been done.
Right.
So I don't know that... I think maybe we as mankind have come as far as we possibly can.
Is that it?
When it comes to candy creation.
One of the greatest movies ever, Jack Nicholson. Maybe this is as good as it gets.
This might be as good as it gets. Because realistically, there's nothing left to cover with chocolate that somebody hasn't tried. You know, I mean, I still think we need to thank the Carney for, you know, that day they ran out of things to deep fry, and the dude was like, hand me that pack of Oreos. I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
True.
And he batter fried the Oreos and gave us that. So, but again, you know, I think with deep frying stuff, you're unlimited. You can deep fry things and eat them as like food, but and now you can deep fry things and have them for dessert. When it comes to candy, there's some limitation there.
They do. I've seen the deep fried Snickers bars.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a dessert thing.
Yeah.
You can deep fry anything. When it comes to creating a new candy that you would cover in chocolate or some form of thing, I believe we as a society and as mankind have, you know, we've reached our limit. We've climbed the Mount Everest of candy creation. There's nothing left to create. We've reached the end of the internet.
I'm trying to remember the last new candy I even remember. I mean, how long has the Zero Bar been around?
I don't know. Probably longer than we've been alive.
Was it? No. Oh, yeah, it was introduced in 1920.
See?
I thought that was newer. What about a whatchamacallit?
That's been out forever. I remember those when I was a little kid. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, but I mean, 1978. Okay, so there's one that came out in my lifetime. I was barely, but it came out in my lifetime.
Telling you. Accept it. We have reached the pinnacle of candy creation. 7:24 on the Morning Blitz. I'm Lewis. That's Thick Rick. Kelly Quinn is back on Monday. We'll see 59 and the clouds and sun mix today. Let me tell you something. I think my cold heart is acting up because it just got freezing in here.
I know, man. It did. The air kicked on for whatever reason.
My God.
43 degrees outside. Why is the air conditioner on?
Right? Let's make sure we implement Arctic Friday.
Ugh. I know. We both just started freezing our ass off.
Can't feel my extremities. I probably have some shrinkage going on now. Thanks.
All right.
That's what happens when it gets cold.
Yeah, we get it.
Nothing you can do about it.
Have you seen any of the craziness going on in L.A.? The Dodger fans celebrating?
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Well, no, I mean on online, on TV. I mean, it's all over the place.
I'm sure there's TikTok videos someplace.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just, they've already arrested a ton of people. It's vandalism. It's looting. I'm like, are those the things you do when you're happy and excited that your team won?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I've seen it before. It happened.
We won. Let's go steal stuff.
I remember when it happened here one year after a Michigan win. It was ridiculous. And I'll never understand it. The looting, we know what that is. That's an excuse. That's just like, well, look, all this craziness is going on. Let me just jump in here. I guess the big Nike shoe store in downtown L.A. that was completely ransacked.
Shocker.
You know, and a Metro bus in Echo Park was covered in graffiti and then set on fire. Why would you waste your time painting it up in graffiti if you were just going to catch it on fire?
Well, because no one accused people of being smart or good with their time.
Oh, man. And
I'm sure there was a TikTok trend. Hey, you paint the bus and then you light it on fire. Oh, okay. Let's go do that.
Then you got this Dodger fan, because a lot of them were lighting off fireworks. I mean, you could see just people are driving down the road, and all of a sudden Roman candles are firing off on the side of the road.
It's Arbor Day. Let's set off some fireworks. We are a country that will set off fireworks for any occasion. Does not matter.
Well,
McDonald's is bringing the Big McRib back. Let's shoot some fireworks off and celebrate.
This guy must have had a short wick.
Oh, his hand blew. I know it did. Oh, my goodness, bro.
Blew his hand off. It looked like an M80. And as soon as he lit the wick, I mean, he couldn't even dropped it. It just blew up.
Dang. Well, did you not watch Armageddon? Light a firework in your hand.
Yeah.
You could burn your hand. You close your hand around the firework and light it. Your wife's opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Hello? Movies are there to teach us things.
Oh my gosh, man. It's gory. I mean, of course I had to seek out the video.
Sure.
Because it was out there. They said the video is very graphic. And let me click on that. And this guy's he's got problems. Not life-threatening, but they said definitely debilitating.
You think?
Yeah.
You lost a hand.
I mean, well, kind of. Some of it.
That could be his entire dating life if he's not ambidextrous.
Well,
I mean, there's a great loss there.
Unbelievable opportunity right here. I mean, this is a chance to go to Indianapolis is on the line, and our guys are excited about playing in this game. The defense got a lot of confidence coming off of last week, the way that they played, winning the game in the fourth quarter. I thought they were flying around. Just like the Oregon game was, this game's been circled on our schedule. We know what's at stake here, so we're gonna have a great week of practice, great energy in practice, and we know it's gonna take 4 quarters in this game. It always does when you go play in this environment. We've been in this situation before, so now it's time to we'll go win this game and get a top 5 victory, and that's what the guys are focused on right now. The coaching staff, everybody in the building is to focus on winning this game right here.
It's the Morning Blitz, 736. Thick Rick, Lewis, Kelly's back on Monday. Congratulations going out to
Steiner Petty from Lancaster has got those tickets to In This Moment. One for her daughter.
For hearing Green Day and being the correct caller. Nice job. And we welcome in the Hall of Fame legend, Jeff Logan.
Yeah. Morning, guys.
How you doing?
Ready?
Missing Kelly, hoping she is doing well at home, and I've got her score already, so she's excited.
Oh, great.
About the Ohio State-Penn State game, and it's interesting to listen to Ryan Day, and he is clearly focused, and the team is focused on the job at hand, and that is the fact that they've got another top 5 matchup. Rarely do you have a top 5 matchup like this in the regular season that's going on, and Ohio State will be involved in 2 of them, and both of those on the road, both of those in very difficult environments. And we lost the first one by that 1-point score out at Oregon. This one is going to be a huge challenge as well, going into a very hostile environment. Thank goodness it's at noon and not at night, because that whiteout at night that they normally do with this game is a very, very special environment. But still, at noon, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and Penn State's pretty good.
They are good.
So you've got, that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Although, every year everybody says Penn State's pretty good. And then, there's some letdown. But I don't know. Everything I've seen about this particular Penn State team seems to have a different feel towards it than the Penn State version that we've seen the last couple of years that were supposed to be quote-unquote pretty good.
It's kind of interesting. If you look, Ohio State has won the last 7 in a row against Penn State. But for the most part, these games have been really closely matched, coming down to 1-score games. Who has the ball at the end of the game usually ends up winning. 2 years ago, we had the JT game over in State College where he was involved in 4 turnovers, with an interception, a fumble caused, a fumble recovery, a pick 6. I don't know that any guys had a singularly one bigger game than what JT had in that game against Penn State 2 years ago over there. What a cool hurrah it would be if he had one of those kinds of games here. And I think that's what you're going to have to expect. You're going to have somebody on one of the 2 teams is going to have to make some defensive plays where you force a turnover and move things in the right direction. So 1-7 in a row. James Franklin head football coach at Penn State versus Ohio State, 1-9. 1-9. That's John Cooper-esque.
Right.
2-10-1.
I
mean, seriously. I mean, and Penn State, in my opinion, probably is the number one team in the country that has benefited the most from this move to a 12-team playoff. All right?
Okay.
Because in the past, they were always having to play Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
And they were always the odd man out, but they would have been included in a 12-team playoff. There's no question about it. But they were never elite enough to be able to make that Final Four, to get in that final group of the 4 teams to play for the national championship.
You know, I really got excited because I saw, if the season had ended last week, the bracket for the playoffs, I'm like, this is awesome.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
I was like, this is going to be great, man.
And I think it will still end up.
Yeah,
we don't know what it's going to be.
No, but it's going to be great.
There's 8 undefeated teams right now.
Yeah.
And some of that will change over the weekend. And by the time the regular season is done, before they go into the SEC championship, Big Ten championship, all of that at the end of the season, I would be surprised if there's more than 1 or 2 undefeated teams at that stage. All right. So having 1 loss, or there will be 2 loss teams
for
in a 12-team playoff. So, you cannot, give up a season just because you have in Georgia, 1 loss team,
right?
Ranked number 2 in the country,
right?
Still getting that respect.
Yeah. Now, I don't know which division Texas is in between. Are they in the same division as Georgia?
Well, the SEC no longer has divisions either.
Oh, they don't.
No,
they just take the top 2 teams. Will play in the championship.
Yeah.
So you have Texas, Georgia play there, possibly.
Yeah.
And then both of them are in. One of them could be in with 2 losses.
Yeah, they're projecting now that it could be. Texas has to play Texas A&M, which is another undefeated. Think about that. The Texas A&M and Texas could play in the SEC championship game, much like we were talking about the possibility of Ohio State playing Oregon twice in the same season. And if Ohio State continues to win out, it would appear, without anything crazy going on, that we would face the Ducks again in Indianapolis, and that's what Ryan Day was talking about.
And then they could play them again in the playoffs, possibly.
Well, if you go long enough, and the brackets align, you could play the same team literally 3 times in the same season,
which is unheard of.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So I saw Allar. Is that how you say his name?
Aller. Drew Aller.
Aller. That's right. He practiced.
He was practicing
Wednesday. I saw.
Yep, he did practice. Drew Aller, the starting quarterback for Penn State, went out of the game a week ago up against Wisconsin in the first half with a leg injury. Not sure if it's a knee or if it's an ankle, but he did not play the rest of the game, and he is considered a game-time decision by Penn State. Their backup, though, played terrific, and they have and he's a little bit different. The backup is a guy that will take off and run maybe more so than Drew Aller would do. But it's kind of interesting that our quarterback, Will Howard, who's here from Kansas State, obviously, grew up in Pennsylvania. He wanted to go to Penn State in the worst way, but they didn't recruit him hard. They didn't think he was good enough. So we have our Pennsylvania kid leading Ohio State, and Drew Aller's an Ohio kid, leading the Penn State team. So recruiting is recruiting. You got to go get the best talent you possibly can.
Did Aller want to be a Buckeye?
Aller was recruited hard here.
Yeah.
He was recruited hard here, but the quarterback room at the time included the likes of Quinn Ewers and some others.
Yeah.
And there was a greater opportunity for him to play right away if he went to Penn State. And I think he made a good decision for his future.
So Howard wanted to be there. Now he wants more than anything to beat them. Kind of reminds me of a guy.
Yeah.
It was Notre Dame. It was Ohio State. Now he loves beating Notre Dame now.
Exactly.
Across from me.
It's funny. You try and not to hold a grudge during your life, right? But it is very difficult to do. And when we went over there in 1976 and played against Penn State, it was a non-conference game, but we went over there and played, and my final decision from a recruiting standpoint came down to Ohio State or Penn State. That's where I was going, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And I ultimately made the decision to go to Ohio State because my number one goal was to play in a Rose Bowl, and fortunately got an opportunity to play in two of those. But I remember how important it was going back to State College in that game because I wanted Joe Paterno, who was the head coach at the time, to be impressed is probably not the right word, but to confirm that he had made the right decision to recruit me like crazy. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
I had so much respect for him that I wanted to perform at a very high level, and ended up having a terrific game over there. We won that game. I think it was 12-7. Got the win. Got out of town. It was terrific. So a lot of fun.
Is Howard's been struggling last couple of games?
The line.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you that Will Howard has struggled. He's completing over 74% of his passes. He was 9 out of 9 in his first throws against Nebraska. He hit the 2 long touchdown passes. Howard hasn't been the issue. He has been consistent, efficient in what he does. Ohio State is number 1 in the country in passing efficiency right now. That means you are taking care of the football from a passing standpoint.
Maybe it's just that when I guess maybe he's just when he has made a bad decision, it's come at the worst possible time.
I understand. I get that. And he is, let me put it this way, he is boring good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like Troy Aikman.
Yeah. He is boring good.
Yep.
He goes out there and he does his job, and he's not expected to go win the game for you. But what he did in that final drive against Nebraska, and gosh, I don't even want to talk about that game. It makes my stomach turn. But, we get the ball with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, trailing in the game. Mm-hmm. And what does he do? Takes Ohio State right down, makes a 4th and 1, and Ohio State ends up scoring at the end of the game to be able to win that thing. So I give him a lot of credit. Here's the key to this game this weekend, guys. Ohio State is banged up on the offensive line. We didn't run the ball at all against Nebraska.
That line,
all right.
Man.
We've lost Josh Fryer, the left tackle, for the season. All right.
Can we fix the line?
Well, we're going to move a lot of people around.
Yeah.
All right, back and forth. We're going to move some people around. But what we've got to do from an offensive standpoint, until that line re-gels, if that's a proper word, is that we got to move the pocket. We got to get the quarterback on the outside and give him run-pass options to be able to execute. So we've got to do something a little bit different than what we were trying to do. We've got 2 great running backs, and to waste them behind that offensive line that wasn't getting things done. Guys, we were 1 out of 10 last week in third down conversions.
Awful.
That's unacceptable under any circumstance.
Hard to win a game when you can't convert.
Yeah, and a direct result of that is the fact that you only had the ball for 47 offensive plays when you normally have it for 70 in a game. So you're not going to get big scores. You're not going to get big plays. You're not going to get 100 yards rushing when you only have 47 attempts at being able to have the ball.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you're not using your offense, you're putting your defense back on the field.
No kidding.
Tiring them out.
And what a terrific game the defense played. I mean, they were stifling in terms of what they needed to do. And if you look at the numbers going into this game, Ohio State total offense is number 9 in the country. Penn State is 13. From a scoring offense standpoint, Ohio State is number 11 in the country compared to number 30 for Penn State. And then on defense, this is where it really tells the tale. These are 2 great defensive teams. Ohio State in total defense, number 2 in the country. Penn State, number 4. Ooh. So this is a classic matchup, guys.
Fight.
Yeah, and so Ohio State a 3.5-point favorite in this game. And I want to say the over-under is like 48.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
48 and a half. Yeah. Whatever it might be. So that's not a high-scoring game by any stretch when you start looking at it that way. And
I just saw my total has 49.
Oh, good. Good work. Good work, my friend.
I didn't see that number. We need to get one of the greatest stories in Ohio State, Penn State history from you.
It's Shine Down on the Morning Blitz, 7:51 Thick. Kelly back Monday. I'm Lewis. Jeff Logan in with us as we talk a little Buckeye football. Getting ready for the Big noon kickoff tomorrow in Happy Valley.
Yeah, it should be fun. The only bad part about it is we got to listen to Gus Johnson make the call.
No, you can't stand it.
You like him, don't you?
Sometimes he's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just do your job. You're the play-by-play guy. You're not the show.
That's what it is. He tries to be the show, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes his calls though are pretty exciting.
Yeah. So my wife had sworn me to silence on this story for. She says, I've heard this story so many times. Don't ever, but tough luck, honey. Turn the radio off if you don't want it.
We don't have bad weather this weekend.
No, we don't. But I want you to focus on the weather yesterday in Columbus. Remember how bad it was? Gray, windy, rainy, just nasty. Well, that's the way it was in 1976 when we showed up at the airport.
It was much colder, though, wasn't it?
It was cool.
Yeah.
But it was blowing and low sky, and it was awful. We get to the airport, and we arrive, and our charter jet is not sitting on the runway. We have two separate turboprop airplanes from Allegheny Airlines.
Yeah.
Sitting there, and we find out that the landing strip in State College at the time, it sounds like I played when there were stagecoaches, was too short to take the standard, charter in there. So we had to use these turboprop airplanes. So Woody said, I want red one in the Bucks, which was the first team offense and first team defense. You guys get on this first plane, and the AYOs, all you others, get on plane number 2. Which, that's how we traveled in buses. That's the way it made sense. We're flying over, and it is awful. Like yesterday's sky was just brutal. The clouds were low, and we're bouncing all over the sky. And the co-pilot comes back to Woody Hayes, and he says, we've got a problem. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's not exactly what you want to hear from the co-pilot as you're in an airplane. And he says, the ceiling is at minimums in State College, and we're permitted to shoot an approach, but it would be my recommendation that we divert to Harrisburg and bus back from there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm listening to this conversation.
You can hear it all.
There is no decision to be made here. We're going to Harrisburg, right? Woody says, well, how long is the bus ride from Harrisburg to State College?
He's gonna ask.
It's like 2 hours, Coach. Well, that's unacceptable. I want you to radio the other plane, send them in first. If they make it in safely, we're going in. And that's exactly what happened. They went in. We ended up, we landed safely. I don't think it was an FAA violation at all. And most importantly, we won the game. So
all you others are going to go first.
They had no idea.
They didn't know anything was going on.
No. And
I just thought they were landing.
I have never been so glad to be a member of the first team in my entire life. It was beautiful. But that was a terrific afternoon. And
we got parachutes on this thing.
Yeah, exactly. But State College is a terrific place. By the way, guys, the average margin of victory in this game over the last 7 games, 7.5 points.
Is that right?
7.5 points is the average margin of victory. Go find another college football rivalry out there that has been that close over the last 7 years or so. But the important stat of that is Ohio State has won the last 7 in a row.
Who won last week?
With a score, because it's 21-17, and we were all like,
big
we
scores.
all had Ohio State getting 45-49.
Yeah,
and then Lewis, you had Nebraska getting 3, Jeff 9. I had him getting 6, but Kelly Quinn had him getting 17, and that's what they got. So Kelly Quinn, 48-17 prediction was the
God
closest.
bless her. She's got like 4 wins this season, guys. She's kicking our fanny.
Well. On fire. You have her score for this week.
I do. Kelly is absolutely sure. I think if I look at the text right, it was 72-0. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't it. Kelly says that the Ohio State score, the Ohio State Buckeyes will win 24-20.
Okay,
is her number, and I've got mine written down before she even did it, and she's going to yell at me for Price and Price is writing her 23-19.
Okay, Rick, what are you going with?
I love our defense, man. Our defense was so impressive last week, and I think they're going to be impressive this week, and we're going to win 35-14.
Ooh, I like that.
In my head, I had 27-21.
Okay.
Is it still in your head?
What about out of your head?
Now it's out of your head. That's what I'm going with. Yeah,
now it's verbal.
27-21.
I guess he meant he didn't write it down.
I didn't write it down, but I know it was going to. I figured it was going to be a close game.
I don't care. You can change it right now if you want.
No, I was toying with changing the 21 to 24, but I'm going to stay confident at 21.
Penn State's banged up as well. They've got their one of their defensive linemen is probably out for the game. Drew Aller is a game-time decision. But outside of our issues at the offensive line, we did get back our linebacker who was going to be suspended for a half because of the targeting call that was overturned earlier this week. So that's a good thing. And I feel really good about this game with Ohio State going up against Penn State. Two great programs. I think the X factor in this game is James Franklin. As long as he's their head football coach, we're going to win.
Well, we will find out tomorrow at noon.
Great to see Logan, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Three things you need to know before you go.
Well, November starts off with the release of the always highly anticipated monthly jobs report. It is expected that October's employment numbers will come in dramatically lower than the previous month, as this report will showcase the effects of 2 hurricanes and a number of labor strikes. Economists are predicting about 110,000 new jobs added. Not sure what kind of jobs those are, but 110,000 jobs.
There are a lot of seasonal jobs getting added right now.
There are. Boeing machinists will vote on a new contract offer Monday. The union has been on strike since September 13th. They've rejected several offers that union leadership thought would pass. The latest offer would raise wages 38% over 4 years, which is a compound increase of 43%. Must be nice to get a 43% wage increase. Probably make you feel good at some point in time, I would think. And former President Donald Trump is suing CBS News for $10 billion.
What?
allegedly making Kamala Harris look good in a 60 Minutes interview. Trump's legal team filed a lawsuit yesterday claiming the network edited the footage to cast Harris in a positive light. The network says Trump's claims are false and the interview was not doctored.
Fake news.
So we shall see, I guess. I mean, this is the world that we live in. And those are the 3 things that you need to know today. Sublime on the Morning Blitz, 8:07, Thick and Lewis. Kelly back on Monday, and we've got your shot to get tickets to see Ghost in Cleveland next year. You want to be caller 16 at 800-821-9970 when you hear Best of You by the Foo Fighters. And, of course, we will wait a minute and a half before we start taking phone calls to give our delayed brethren a chance to play. Well, it's a good weekend to watch Ohio State football because there's not much in theaters. You got Hit Pig, the animated movie with Jason Sudeikis as Hit Pig, a bounty hunter who catches escaped animals and returns them to their owners. Rainn Wilson is the bad guy. This will probably be streaming next week, so, unless you're looking for something to take the kids. Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, Forrest and Jenny, reuniting with Robert Zemeckis for a drama that takes place in a single room over 100 years. The camera does not move at all. It's called Here.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that.
And everyone said this is just awful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw her in an interview, and they asked her if she was the villain in Forrest Gump. We had this discussion.
Yeah.
And she said, she wasn't very good to him, only showed up when it was convenient for her,
absolutely.
Didn't tell him about her kid, about his kid. And then they made an argument for her. Well, she was sexually abused by her father, which messed her up psychologically. So really, Jenny's father is the villain of Forrest Gump. That's what they concluded.
Liam Neeson plays an aging boxer working as a hired muscle for a crime boss, played by Ron Perlman from, of course, Sons of Anarchy. As his health deteriorates, he tries to reconnect with his family and starts making riskier decisions in an attempt to make amends. It's called Absolution. Again, this will probably be streaming next week. And then Blitz is when the Germans...
what do we got?
No, it's not football. When the Germans started bombing London in World War II...
That's not rock and roll either.
Saoirse Ronan leads her 9-year-old son to safety, but after the kid defiantly leaves the English countryside and returns to his mom, she desperately starts searching for her missing son. This is probably one of those things, because of who's in it, that's probably going to see some kind of Oscar nod later down the road, but it's limited release. And you've got Jesse Eisenberg directing a movie called The Real Pain with Kieran Culkin. They play cousins who reunite for a Holocaust tour through Poland to honor their grandmother. A lot of dreary. Lots of upbeat stuff. So like I said, it's a good weekend to have Buckeye football on because ain't nobody going to see any of this. Hello to Terrifier 3 and Venom for another top at the box office again this week.
Who have your Bengals got Sunday?
I don't even know because I'm so disgusted with them right now. They played the Giants they played the Eagles last week.
You don't know?
Who do they play? Why are you asking me tough questions like this?
Sorry, I just thought you'd know off the top of your head. It wasn't that important.
Well, I haven't decided if I'm going to watch it yet or not. Oh, they got the Raiders.
Oh, well, that's a win.
Maybe.
Well,
can't say that with much confidence these days.
My Cowboys are playing the Falcons, and they're playing great now, the Falcons. We're not, so I'm not very... Very, like I'm usually an optimistic person, but not this time.
No, me either. I would not be surprised if the silver and black smack us around a little bit. You know, they're playing they got another backup quarterback. We make backup quarterbacks stars.
Who's playing quarterback for him now?
The guy who played last year. That they benched, what's his name? Aiden O'Connell. So he's not the starter.
With him and Minshew, right?
Right. They benched Minshew, so they put in Aiden O'Connell. Anytime the Bengals play someone who's not the starter, we make that person look like the second half of Tom Brady. Metallica on the Morning Blitz, 8:23 with Thick and Lewis. Your wife says your entire house smells like weed.
Oh, really?
There's an aroma.
Did she open up the basement door?
See, I got to be honest. That's my reservation about ever. Again, I don't mind. I'm the last person to condemn anybody for smoking weed. But I don't want my belongings in my house to smell like pot 24/7. I just don't.
I understand that. I don't grow it in there. I need 6 days for the plant to dry.
Right, but I don't know that I would be able to handle 6 days of my house smelling like
I hadn't
weed.
noticed it. It was like the one before. You didn't notice it unless you opened the basement door, and then it hit you in the face. But that was the only time I noticed it. So, but this one was definitely stronger. This is a much bigger buds, and I just know it's going to be much more potent.
Yeah.
So that's only got a few more days.
No, I get it. But I just, that's the one thing I've noticed about the fact that it's become legal now. Mm-hmm. I smell it everywhere.
That's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
To an extent. Like, I just don't know. Maybe I'm the a-hole finally because of what I'm saying right now, but I'd never signed up for my entire world to smell like weed. If I go to a concert or a bar, 1,000% let the weed flow. But when I'm chilling at home doing my laundry, I don't necessarily need to
smell it when you're at home doing laundry.
No, I'm just saying when I walk out into the backyard with the dog, there's parts of my life that don't need to be filled with the aroma all the time.
You ever been downtown?
Yes.
There's a whole different kind of aroma downtown.
I know. I'm aware. And again, I'm not...
It's nothing natural either.
I am not condemning anyone for their smoking of the weed at all, for their growing of the weed. More power to you. I know we have all waited a long time for this to be even legally possible. However, there's a reason Bed Bath & Beyond doesn't smell weed-scented candles.
Are they still in business? Didn't they shut down?
Or Bed Bath Body Works, whatever. They're all the same.
Well, man, it's legal now. Give them time.
I'm sure. All right.
Okay, so we just played Metallica.
Correct.
And I caught Kirk Hammett. Did you know Gibson has their own TV YouTube channel? Gibson has a Gibson Guitars.
Guitar company? I'm not surprised.
So I stumbled up on that, and there was Kirk Hammett from Metallica. And I'm going to tell you right now, if all you want to do, it's like you got to go work today at some fast food place or whatever, and all you want to do is go home and play that guitar and write songs, do not give up hope. Because Kirk Hammett, as a teenager and even beyond, was working at Burger King. And he was saving every dime he could from working at Burger King to buy a guitar. And he was talking about that guitar that he bought with money he made at Burger King. He was talking about that on Gibson's YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
It's a flying V. It's just a matter of what.
Yeah, this is the one that started it all.
This is the one that I used to sit in my bedroom with. I worked at Burger King for this guitar. Yeah. This guitar has been stolen from me twice, and I managed to get it back. It's been lost. The airlines lost it maybe 2 or 3 times, and I've managed to get it back. Die by My Hand was written on this guitar when I was 17 years old. Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, and the Black Album, they're written on this guitar.
Wow. All
All the guitar solos on Kill 'Em All were done on this guitar. All the guitar solos on Ride the Lightning were done on this guitar.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Don't give up your dreams, man.
It's impressive. That's amazing that he got it back after losing it so many times.
Yeah, twice it was stolen.
Right? That's what I mean. That's incredible in itself.
But, iconic Metallica songs written on this guitar that he bought with money he made working at Burger King.
This Jay said, Bath and Body doesn't sell them, Lewis, because they're lame. You can order weed-smelling candles and think about it. It's the most wonderful natural smell there is.
Oh, you can?
Apparently you can.
How about that?
Yeah. Doug said, I'm with you, Rick. It's awesome. Dan said, it concerns me when I smell it on the highway on my way home at 7 a.m.
The highway?
Yeah.
How do you smell it on the highway?
And someone said, I don't want to smell it there everywhere everywhere I go either. I just want some fresh, clean air once in a while.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I don't smell it that much. Out and about, whatever. I mean, every once in a while, it'll hit me, but...
Dave said, I wish they made a cologne with that smell.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very distinct odor.
It
is.
is.
And I know a lot of people are like, I smell a skunk. I can definitely tell the difference between weed and a skunk.
I can tell
there is some similarity there, but I can definitely tell the difference.
Again, like I said, I'm not trying to be the a-hole. I am not condemning growers, smokers, or any of the above. However, I would just like my house to smell like my house, my concerts and my bars to smell like my concerts and bars.
Gotcha.
Same reason when smoking was allowed in bars. The first thing I did when I came home, shower.
Yeah, that was always a complaint. People coming home, oh, I can smell like smoke.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well,
to each their own. Smoke if you got them. Best of you foos on the Morning Blitz, 8:37. I'm Lewis, that's Dick Rick. Kelly Quinn's back Monday, and Foo Fighters was the song you were listening for a chance to win tickets to see in this moment. Gotta turn your mic on.
I don't know, I just haven't potted up. Chris Wood from Columbus, she heard the song, and she was the correct caller, and she has got her tickets to see Ghost on July 17th. They go on sale this morning at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse next summer.
All right.
Should be a great show.
Oh, yeah, it was Ghost, not in this moment. Sorry, I said in this moment.
Oh, did you?
I did. I meant to say Ghost. I apologize. Do you have any physical media left? Albums?
Oh, my gosh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got about... Well, I lost about 100 albums when the basement flooded, but I still got about another 300, and I got just a ton of CDs.
See, I spent days putting all my CDs, ripping all my CDs in multiple hard drives so I have a backup.
Yeah, I understand.
Just for space purposes. But I know the new trend, vinyl is bigger than ever right now.
Yeah, it's really come back. And I mean, it's cool. I don't know. It's kind of odd to me.
But we have a generation that I think is a bit conflicted.
I do like the sound. That sound, it's just something about that sound. I know it's not like the perfect, crystal clear sound, but I think that's why I like it.
Yes, I understand. I do too. But you have the people now who stream everything.
Yeah.
I know the kids, the first thing they do when they get in their car is plug their phones into their Bluetooth or whatever and pull up a Spotify playlist.
Okay.
I'm guilty of streaming music through my Alexa. I know that I am.
Yeah, I don't really stream music.
Okay. But at the same time, the people who are doing a heavy load of streaming are often the same people who are going, you need to support the artist. You need to support the artist. Right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, support your favorite artist.
I mean, they don't even put CDs and CD players in cars anymore.
Correct.
I have a flash drive, a 2 terabyte flash drive that is loaded with hundreds of songs that is plugged into my little slot in my middle compartment of my truck. Didn't come with a CD, but I got hundreds of songs at my fingertips anytime I want them. Okay. I just play off that flash drive.
Did you know 1 CD or vinyl sale earns more income for an artist than 200 hours of streaming?
200, so when you say 200 hours, you mean like for one person?
For one artist. So let's say you want to hear the Foo Fighters.
I have to listen to them for 200 hours?
Right. Alexa, play songs by the Foo Fighters. And for everybody whose Alexa just started playing
and
songs.
turned us off.
I'm sorry. But you would have to have 200 hours unless you just went out and bought one Foo Fighters greatest hit CD. There would be more support, and the Foos are a bad example because they're multi-rich. But if you were supporting that artist, 1 CD or vinyl sale earns more income for an artist than 200 hours of streaming. Now, you most likely would not even get through 200 hours of streaming in a week of listening to the same artist, nor would you listen to the same artist probably for the entire week anyway.
No. But I'm trying to imagine I buy a band I love, I buy their new CD.
Okay.
And I start playing it. And if I had a CD player in my vehicle, I would have it in my vehicle. I would play it a lot, probably.
Probably.
I'm trying to imagine how long would it take me before... let's say the total of the CD is, I don't know, an hour. Just for this purpose. You got an hour's worth of music on this CD. So I would have to listen to the CD 200 times.
No, you'd have to. Buying the CD once prevents you from having to stream that song 200 times.
No. I know.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is to get to hear that album for 200 hours, I'd have to listen to it 200 times.
Correct.
And so they got my $15, $20, whatever it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if I listened over time streaming it for 200 hours...
Be years.
No. Not if I'm listening to those songs from that album. If I'm streaming them...
There are 365 days in a year. You would have to listen to that one Foo Fighters album almost once a day for a year if you were streaming it.
But if I buy the CD, I'm going to listen to it for more. I've got CDs I've been listening to for 10, 15, 20 years. So I know they've gone over 200 hours. I'm just saying it might work out.
Okay, well, one $20 to $25 album or CD for sale earns the same amount of royalties as paid on 5,000 track streams for that artist.
Wow. All right.
Put that in perspective for you.
Well, I know they don't make as the royalties for streaming are not the same as they are for radio, for broadcast. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because the generation that came along in my generation and the generation afterwards has done a fantastic job of devaluing music for everyone. Thank you, iTunes, for letting people know that a song is only worth 99 cents or less.
I'm going to say that began with Napster.
It probably did, but then in order to combat Napster, you had iTunes that came along and made everybody switch to iTunes and do everything on iTunes. Why? And you priced it wrong from day one. It's always been the wrong price point. I mean, if you think about in the 90s, I remember being a kid and wanting to buy a CD, but I only had let's say I had $20. I could buy one CD, or I could buy 2 or 3 CD singles that had 2 or 3 songs on them from different artists. Because those were roughly $5 a pop for a CD single.
Yeah.
So you made the song 99 cents. If you would have priced it even if you would have priced each track at $3. For lack of having to produce the plastic, the album cover that went into every CD single and the physical CD. Even if you would have priced it at $3, the majority of people would have went, all right, if I'm going to buy 3 CD singles for $9, but you're going to sell me the whole digital album for $12, why wouldn't I just go ahead and buy the album? Because it would make more sense. But you never did that. Instead, you made it 99 cents so people would cherry pick whatever song they liked and just buy singles from an artist. And that's why that's where you are now. And people who bitch about the high cost of concert tickets, this is exactly why concert tickets are way more expensive than they ever used to be, because this is the way artists make money, by merch and by touring. So you're taking it in the backside from the concert side and the merch side because of the digital and streaming music that we all have swallowed up for 20 years. And if you think I'm wrong,
no, you're not.
I promise you I'm not, and I will die on this hill.
Doug says, I'm listening to you right now on my Alexa while I'm in the bathroom. My Alexa is my bathroom radio. So that means that his did what Jennifer's did, because Jennifer said, I'm listening to you on one Echo. Another Echo in my house started playing Foo Fighters.
Dave Grohl, thanks you. So my question is, does anybody still own a lot of physical CDs or albums? Are you buying vinyl? Because I know vinyl is the big thing right now. Do you have any physical media, or are you strictly streaming?
It's funny because Rod asked, he says, what's the most you ever paid for a vinyl record? I mean, back when I was buying vinyl, I mean, they were always, $18, $19, $20. And then if it was a double,
it was like $30.
It was even more. So yeah, probably, yeah. Now I bought some, collectibles like imports and stuff, like AC/DC's Dirty Deeds import from Australia that comes with Jailbreak on it, because Jailbreak wasn't on that. The album released in the U.S., the version, and I definitely paid over $25 for that one.
Right. I'm just curious, do you have any physical music? And if so, what's the last one you bought? I'm curious. What I always said, my theory, especially from a radio programming standpoint, if you physically went and spent money on someone's album or CD, okay, that's a hit record, because somebody out, you're making somebody physically buy it in a world where we download everything.
Yes.
I'm like, so that says that record must have spoke to you in some way. So I'm curious, what's the last CD or record that you actually purchased that you physically have? And if you've got a CD player in your car and you're still using it, more power to you. I hope you have one of those 90s like binders that you keep them into, because respect. Star set on the Morning Blitz. It's Thick, Lewis, Kelly back Monday, 59 and some clouds and sun today. We're talking about streaming versus physical. What's the last physical album or CD that you purchased? Gavin said Elvis on vinyl, a Christmas gift for my wife.
That's funny. You asked about the binders. Smoke says, I still have my 75-slot CD binder sitting on shelf, holds all the CD cases. Haven't listened to a physical album in 15 years, probably.
That's impressive. Honey said, my dad has all of his 8-tracks from when he was a kid. I grew up listening to with him, and now I'm in search of a working 8-track player so I can show my kids what real music sounds like.
I wonder if they'll still, because it's tape, and sometimes over the years,
tape wears out.
Yeah, I just wonder.
I don't know.
And that's another thing. If you buy something like that, remember, like cassettes, and then after years it goes bad, I mean, they should have to replace that, right? I feel like, this doesn't work anymore.
Hopefully.
You owe me a new one.
It's 30 years old. Rachel said, I have several CDs in my car, also my books of CDs. Shinedown's current album is in the player. And Carolyn says, my 20-year-old daughter took all my CDs and loves them. All rock, I raised her well. Which is impressive in itself.
Mm-hmm. Man, Will Vickery inherited about 1,000 vinyls from an uncle.
Nice.
And a lot of it is country, he said, but there's some banger rock albums in there.
Roger says, does an autograph count? Because I paid $125 for a signed CD for my daughter. My kids got me the Journey Escape vinyl for Father's Day. Last one I bought was Nirvana Nevermind on vinyl. Nice. Yeah. Robert ordered the Jelly Roll album a few weeks ago. Came with the autographed picture inside, so we had a nice little bonus. It was $10. That is impressive.
Mike says, I can't remember the last CD I purchased physically. While running a used car lot, I was able to accumulate binders and binders and binders of CDs of all music genres. We got most of our cars from impound auctions and from insurance auctions, and people never cleaned out their cars. So, oh look, here's a whole binder of CDs they left behind. And so you just racked them up, man. That's crazy.
Dakota said Jelly Roll's album scanned the QR code at his concert and got the album along with the autograph, and he claimed all the proceeds go to help kids with mental health. That's impressive. See, I would expect that from Jelly Roll, because that's the one thing that I took from the Jelly Roll show, which was fantastic, is how much that audience connected with that dude.
Oh, yeah, because he's a regular guy, man. Definitely.
Johnny said, I bought Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 on vinyl, and it was beautiful.
So Gavin texted in, and he's right in this. He said, you're right. There are only about 220 work days a year, and at an hour a day, that's like almost every work day for a year that you would have to listen to accumulate 200 hours. And he's right about that, but I also let him know that I've been listening to my Master of Puppets CD for over 35 years. I know I'm well over 200 hours on that album.
Well, yeah, if you've been going that long.
But that's my point. When you buy the CD, it's mine. I can listen to it for years and years and years.
Correct.
So if I really like that CD, I'm probably going to eventually go over 200 hours.
You know, I bought Deadpool and Wolverine, my own copy of it. You know why? Because if you just rely on your streaming services, like say you get a movie and you add it to your streaming services, you don't own that movie.
That's right.
They can pull it whenever, and if it goes away, your movie goes away with it.
That's right.
So you might spend $20 to add that to, whatever, and it's not yours.
Yeah.
So if you I'll use Amazon Prime for an example. Okay, let me say I buy the same movie on Amazon Prime. If Amazon loses a contract or whatever, and they can't stream that movie anymore, you don't have it either.
All right. Rachel Ray has several CDs in her car. Has books of CDs. Shinedown's current album is in her player right now. So I'm guessing that's the most recent she bought.
It's also one of the most recent texts that I read.
Did you really?
Yes.
Damn it! Why didn't you stop me when I started?
Because you were on a roll, and I wasn't gonna. I'm gonna let you finish.
Damn it!
Yeah. Ronnie said 21
You
Pilots
are the a-hole.
Clancy album at the show last month.
Car
Radio Thomas. What's up, Thomas? He bought the Whitechapel from Jelly Roll.
Okay.
My 15-year-old took my CD collection along with some vinyl and hung them all over the bedroom wall. Looks pretty sick, honestly. Yeah, that's a good look.
That's funny.
Dave just bought Stained on vinyl that came out 3 years before Dysfunction. It's cool. See, I like the sound of vinyl. I think it's cool that people still buy it.
Yeah, it is.
Nonetheless, I'll throw this up on the Facebook wall, so feel free to continue contributing to that discussion. But it's interesting when you break it down, like how that is. But yeah, I wish we went back to physical media. You know why? Because I like the album cover and the physical album cover and all that. And I was a geek that used to like to read the notes, the thank you notes in the back of CDs. But
dude, albums. Albums had so much cool stuff in them, art and notes, and you could find out all kinds. And most albums came with like all the lyrics were printed inside it for every song.
Well, and then when I got into radio and I started like doing stuff with artists, I would look at some of the thank you notes and see if I was in there. And there's a couple of times that I was. I'm like,
really?
That's cool.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. All right. I like that.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Early in-person... Let me try that again. Early in-person voting is open for extended hours today until 7:30 p.m. and for more limited hours over the weekend, Saturday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Sunday 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Anyone who doesn't cast a ballot by Sunday will have to wait until the polls open on Election Day, this coming Tuesday. Ohioans who are voting by mail need to have their absentee ballots postmarked by Monday, November 4th. Strong winds yesterday toppled a tornado siren tower in Upper Arlington. Officials say the 30-foot tall tower on Coventry Road near Jones Middle School fell over and damaged 4 vehicles, but nobody was hurt. Wind gusts of over 40 miles an hour were recorded in the area yesterday. I knew it was windy. I didn't realize it was that windy.
Man, I've driven by that thing so many times because my kids went to Jones.
Yeah.
That's when I went to middle school.
No idea. The city of Columbus is planning to launch a pilot program that will make direct cash payments to the working poor. Mayor Ginther announced the $2.5 million program yesterday. 200 residents who have jobs but make less than the median income in Central Ohio will get payments of $500 per month for 2 years. The program is meant to help families improve their long-term financial situations. It's now up to the city council to approve the money.
Okay. Where's that money come from?
I'm sure it doesn't take
I want help to improve my family situation.
I'm sure it doesn't take a genius to figure out where that money is going to come from, so I'll just leave that one sit there.
Okay.
If that's the, if that's where you would like it to sit. Those are your three things. It's the Morning Blitz. Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn, back Monday. I'm Lewis. Getting closer to winding down a Friday.
You ever heard the end of a golf club hit a human head?
I don't know that I want to. I probably have in a movie, but that's probably a sound effect and not the real sound.
Not the real thing. A real golf club being swung very hard and busting somebody over the head so hard that it breaks. What do you call the end of it? That hits the
head?
The head, yeah. That breaks the head off. The head hit the head.
I've been in a few scuffles in my life. At no point in time did anybody ever weaponize a golf club around me.
Well, you haven't been golfing at Burnaby Mountain Golf Course near Vancouver in Canada.
No, I have not.
So, I guess somebody from one group hit into the group in front of them. And so obviously the group in front of them were upset. And one of the guys, not the guy who actually hit the ball, but he was he was trying to, just be cool and say, all right, sorry, and all this stuff. And this guy was so mad, he wailed right into this dude's head with his golf club. Sounds like this. That was his head. That sound right there was his golf club hitting this guy's head. So here's how the rest of it went.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you?
Hey, call the cops.
Call the cops.
Call the RCMP right now. Put the club down. RCMP right now.
We can de-escalate this, eh?
We can de-escalate this, eh?
Jeez. Not when you take a golf club and swing it at somebody's head. Wow.
Man. That is...
Yeah. That's effed up.
Oh my God. The guy he hit, just on the ground, rolling on the ground, holding his head, yelling.
Sure he was.
His friend's obviously freaking out. But I do love the very calm and very Canadian, hey, we can de-escalate this, eh?
Hey. We'll go get some Tim Hortons.
Cops showed up and arrested the guy who they described as intoxicated.
You think?
And so now he's facing some pretty serious charges for assault with a weapon.
Yeah, nearly killing some dude.
I can't stop listening to that. But that is a golf club hitting somebody's head. It sounds like they're hitting just ball? Blasting a ball off a tee.
Okay. All right. No need to hammer the point home, Frank.
You had
enough?
Got it. You had enough?
God, yeah.